Welcome. It's Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, and we are live as usual for the same as the last 3 years. Of course, we have our lovely members in the Zoom room right now. It is not for the public. It is just for our private members. But at home is also our beautiful public on the TT, on the FB, on the YT, on the RUM, and the IG. Do we do X?
No.
We don't do X. I don't know why. But we are live all over the world. And I do have an announcement for the members. So I wanted to just say that now, that starting this month, the last Tuesday of every month, we are going to extend this and cut it off to the public and just have a members meeting with just me and you the last Tuesday of every month, so we can talk some extra stuff. Perhaps there's something you don't want to say because the public listens in the first little bit, or we can talk some more secretive mindfulness stuff, which is my favorite topic, or I can tell you about what I have planned for you. I don't have to censor myself because the public's watching. So that's going to be the last Tuesday of every month. So plan on being here for close to 2 hours. It'll be fun. Promise. So there's that. Last week, we talked about coming up with a name for my live annual event, and we did. But we came up with Meet and Greet, so it's going to be called the Annual Dr. Reese Meet and Greet, because I don't want to call it a seminar, because the seminar is like too intense. It's too teachy. It's too teachy. What am I going to teach? I've already taught everything. So it's going to be a meet and greet where I'll be on stage for 2 hours, and then the other 2 hours we'll do book signings and food, a party essentially, but a meet and greet. And I'm also working on a reunion retreat just for members. I think it's too soon to do this year. I don't know. I don't know yet. Perhaps that's something we can talk about on the exclusive members meeting in a few weeks on the last Tuesday. But I want to do a reunion retreat so everyone can get together, because you're all meeting each other from all over the world. And once a year, you should be able to get together and have fun and do all that good stuff. So there'll be more details on that coming soon. But for now, I'm going to come back to the members in 20 minutes or so. So think of any questions you may have for me, or if you have any victories, if you have any testimonies, I definitely want to hear about those. Last week we had 3 big ones. Like we just, you guys just keep head to toe healing. It just keeps happening and happening and happening. And we want to hear about it. We want to know about it. The public wants to see it. The public wants to know about it. Keep in mind, beautiful members, keep in mind, nobody believes us. Okay? They don't believe us. So we got to keep proving ourselves and showing that this head to toe healing thing works. It's pretty cool. If you go on the website and you watch the testimony reel that we put up on the Start Now page, it's emotional. Like you might crack a tear. It is 17 members back to back to back to back, just healing. It's like, wait till that 1700. I mean, it's just like when you see it back to back to back to back to back to back. I mean, I don't know how anyone can deny it. And the haters and debaters, they don't want to watch it. They don't watch it. The haters and debaters don't watch it. They won't even watch it. They go like this. So it's all
Hi,
good. Hi.
Dr. Reese and Coach Sean.
Hi.
Hi. Tamara was supposed to get a hold of me, but I haven't heard from her yet.
Okay, well, I'm sure she will.
Yeah, I know. But so far, I am loving the program.
Okay, well, we'll come back to you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go to the public now. And we are going to field some questions.
So I had some questions that have come up this last week. I'm still waiting for some people to engage on the socials. But what is your take on oxalates?
Oh, okay.
Is it important to reduce them?
Not really. I mean, maybe if you have a severe kidney issue, but
So what about somebody that gets kidney stones all the time? Like
well, that's a
uric
kidney.
acid.
That's a kidney issue. Yeah, definitely.
So uric acid versus calcium kidney stones. What's the take on that?
Well, we're gonna attack it the same way. We're gonna get after the whole body. The kidney stones are soft tissue, so it's essentially the same thing in our eyes for the most part. We're gonna get after it the same way. So.
Do you think if somebody's been on alpurinol for a really long time to reduce kidney stones or gout, they'd be able to transition off of that?
Any drug can be transitioned off of. Yeah.
It's always their choice, transition or not. The uric acid, the allopurinol itself, that's your biggest clue. They have calcium deficiency. And it's not just calcium, it's all its cofactors and everything. This is very common. We see it all the time. But on the oxalate thing, even someone in the chat said plant poisons. It's this a terrible idea that's going around the internet that we want to avoid plant poisons. I think we should remind everyone that plants are magic. We're not here promoting veganism, but plants are absolutely required in the diet. We're omnivores. Mm-hmm. And all of the longest lived populations eat oxalates and phytates and nightshades, all of them, universally, no exceptions. So if people are reacting to these foods, they have nutritional problems, other problems in the body, as Dr. Reese said, kidney problems. These problems can all be fixed. If you're reacting to the food and it's a real food, processed properly and all that stuff, don't blame the food. We cut out a few foods like glutens and stuff. Dairy can be a problem for a lot of people. But in general, vegetables and fruits are all safe. If you're reacting to them, you have a separate problem that needs to be addressed. Don't blame the food.
Right. Yeah, we got to get after the body from head to toe. That's our method. So.
Another question here is if your stomach is if it's corrected, is there any worry about parasites?
No, not unless you're in a jungle. I mean, if you're in a jungle or you're out in the woods or something, I mean, you got a much higher chance of getting a parasite. Parasites these days in our regular society is it's another internet paranoia thing, just like oxalates, But if you have healthy stomach acid in your gut, I mean, how is a parasite going to survive? Is it even possible? What do you think, Ryan? Is it possible?
Well, from the detox world, right? You're a trained detox guy before you shifted gears more into the head to toe healing, and created the head to toe healing. People can detox themselves all they want. Go ahead and do a parasite cleanse. I promise it's not going to fix your problem.
Yeah.
Whatever the problem is, I promise it's not going to fix it. And there's a huge camp out there arguing that the parasites are there to eat heavy metals, to eat tumors. You've got the other side saying, oh, but these might cause it because the parasites are always there when you have MS. They're always there when you have cancer. The other camp is going, yeah, they're there because they're eating the debris. They're eating the junk. They're helping to clean up the system. All of the longest lived populations, all the blue zones and the ones that are not even traditionally considered blue zones, they all have high parasite rates. All of them.
Yep. Yeah. It's a paranoia, and a lot of the people in the detox movement, the reason why they're detoxing out parasites is because they don't have stomach acid because they're eating so alkaline. It's an oxymoron. Took me many years to figure that out. Just that one sentence. Next question. Anything from Coach Sean?
Yeah, we have something from Jonesy. He's asking, what is your opinion on juicing? Is it dangerous?
Yeah, that's ironic. We were just talking about the plant-based movement. I don't. There's context involved. Is it dangerous? It can be dangerous, yeah, if you get addicted to it. I was addicted to it at one point. You know, I would go 100 days with no food. I think I almost went 6 months one time. Yeah. You know, been there, done that. I don't think juicing is necessary at all. Drink water. Take your 90 essential nutrients. You're good.
And we got another question. Someone is asking, how do you feel about a vegetarian diet or a vegan diet? They've seen people get benefits from essentially, well, cardiovascular benefits from being on these vegetarian and vegan diets, and kind of want to know why that is.
I haven't seen any. Like I said, I came from that movement. Is this the same person asking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I don't subscribe to that. Been there, done that. Seen too many people die.
Yeah, I remember we got somebody, and it's like a pretty notable vegan influencer, and we got somebody from them, and they said they were doing their protocol and they started to have aneurysms so bad that they had to go into the hospital
Yeah.
because they received like just a simple, quick protocol. The person just read their comment and gave them a protocol on the spot. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, nutrition is the baseline of your biochemistry. I mean, it's just a fact. You know, you ever hear somebody say, "Oh, your brain chemistry is off." That's nutrition. You know, for all your mental health stuff, all your psychiatrists would be out of business if they understood nutrition. You know, there'd be no Zoloft, there'd be no Prozac, there'd be none of that because it would be all nutrition. And when you're vegan, it's just you don't get the nutrition that you need unless you're supplementing crazy heavy. But you're probably not a true vegan because you know there's some animal products in the supplements. You know, so.
It's worth noting that the average person will see results on any diet because the average person comes from eating junk food.
Yeah. The first 6 months, you'll always.
Almost always. Look at carnivore, right? Why can carnivore and keto and vegan all boast good results for a lot of people, not everyone, in the first 6 months, year, maybe 2 years, because they're getting off of processed foods.
Yep.
They're eating more real foods, so they're getting more nutrients, letting their digestion system heal a bit. Then the bad results start to pour in. And that's true with any diet.
Yep.
And the one thing the vegans could always claim, I think truthfully, because I came up in the vegan time as well. When I first started in the business, veganism was all the rage. Dr. Reese, when you went to school for your PhD in nutrition, veganism was all the rage, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one thing they can boast is quite good results. I know, Sean, you said heart disease and stuff, but I'm saying cardiovascular in general, blood pressure, blood sugar. They do get pretty good results that way, but people burn out. We're omnivores. We need a bunch of different nutrients, and it doesn't matter what you eat. The food supply is nutrient deficient in general. Even if you're eating nutrient-dense foods like the carnivore diet, it's not balanced. Certain things are missing. No human population ever did it by food alone. And it's a longer conversation as to why, but we have those modules, we have those teachings in the membership. So the members know.
Yeah, the members know. Anything else from you, Karen?
Yeah, what happens if you lose your sense of taste? Is there anything to turn that around?
Yeah, we'd go after first of all, again, head to toe healing, whole body. But if you're losing your taste, it's more than likely a brain issue. The brain is attached to everything, you know? So it could be a compressed nerve. And that's why head to toe healing is a must. You know, if you just go to a nutritionist, you might not be able to fix that.
What about pork? Is it very good to eat, or is it considered unclean?
Certainly some traditions do say it's unclean, but you know, food is food. Survival is survival. Now, when Ryan was going through his transformation, he ate pork chops almost every day.
Yep.
So,
And I mean, I get it. They're saying the animal is unclean because of the way it lives, you know, roots around in the dirt and all that stuff. But whatever it eats goes through the digestion system. A pig's digestion is very, very similar to a human being, actually. Anatomically, it's very, very similar. So just like us, it's supposed to have strong stomach acid. And it has a strong salt craving itself, and it'll seek out salt and clays and minerals and stuff. So whatever is going through it, like if you eat feces, for example, this is where a lot of this comes from. Like, oh, you know, pigs will eat anything. They'll eat their own feces and stuff. Many animals actually do eat their own feces. It's a way of recycling nutrients, by the way. So, some animals like rats and stuff, they actually kind of need to. It's a major nutrient source for them. They do it at night. But just like us, with strong stomach acid and stuff, it should break down all that stuff. So whatever the problem is with what it's eating, it should not actually enter into the meat. And pork meat does have worms in it. So do fish. Almost all fish, but particularly whitefish. So you've got largely the same camp saying, oh, we can't eat this because it's unclean, but we can eat this, even though this is also unclean for the same reason, right? With worms in the flesh. Worms are destroyed by cooking, first of all, most of them. And second of all, like you said, Dr. Reese, when worms and eggs, because there's parasite eggs all over the place, right? You can't avoid parasites just like you can't avoid bacteria. They're on literally everything. Once they drop into the stomach acid, if your stomach acid is proper, the worm dies. It doesn't survive the stomach acid.
that's right. Stomach acid is the first defense.
And pigs historically have been a very, very important part of civilization because they recycle scraps, right? Chickens and pigs were historically fed table scraps, food scraps. And they helped to keep our cities from building up with rotting compost everywhere, basically.
Shout out to the omnivores.
There's a lot of hate against the pigs. I don't know.
A lot of hate against the pigs.
Our landfills would be a little bit less overflowed if we had some pigs around.
All right, Coach Sean, you have anything?
Yeah, got a question on TT. Rago is asking which book addresses tinnitus, please.
Well, that would be Reverse the Cause. There's a chapter in there. But you know, if you want to get rid of ringing in your ears, then, you know, you need head to toe healing. So, you know, you can go to Dr. Kevin Reese and click the Start Now button. Get on the phone with our coaches.
Back on IG, I see that Tracy is wondering, well, she says, my son has a sunken in chest. Is that to do with out of alignment? If that to do, I guess, posture misalignment?
Probably, but, you know, you need an analysis to know. You know, it could be a tag team type of thing. You know, it could be not enough hard tissue nutrients and postural, and it just kind of, you know, that's why head to toe healing it's the whole thing. But an analysis would be in order for that. So. Anything else?
Oh, well, someone says, please write a book on how to raise healthy kids. Isn't one already out?
Well, I got the children's book, Sunlight Sunny. It doesn't say how to raise healthy kids, but it inspires kids not to eat junk food.
That's all I got for now.
Karen?
Still waiting.
Would you please share what the poor four foods are in more detail?
Yeah, it's gluten, bottled oils, fried and fake.
And can people start seeing a difference if they just incorporate that? Or I guess remove them from their diet?
Yeah, absolutely. If somebody got off those 4 foods right now, those poor 4 foods, they would see improvement inside of a month. Period.
What are the main things it turns around?
Pretty much everything. Everything. It's going to bring stomach acid. It's going to help stomach acid come back. It's going to open up absorption. It's going to get rid of the free radical damage. It's going to do everything.
So that's something somebody could start before even entering our program and have success.
It happens all the time. People write into us all the time and say, hey, I got off your poor 4 foods and, you know, this is gone and that is gone and this is gone and that is gone. And they're not even, they didn't pay a dime. Or maybe they just bought a book. One of the 10 books.
What happens if somebody drinks carbonated drinks? How does that affect their body?
It's going to promote the stomach acid levels to go away. You know, so Ryan, tell them about carbonation.
Yeah, people get confused about this because they say, well, isn't carbonation acidic itself? Like sodas are acidic. Well, how could adding acid into acid lower the stomach acid? You know, just like lime juice or orange juice or something, you know, how would that lower the stomach acid? Well, specifically, the body responds to the carbolic acid from the carbonation, and it wants to neutralize that specific compound. So it releases bicarbonate into the stomach. We all probably know bicarbonate from baking soda. A lot of people use different bicarbonates for different reasons. Your body's supposed to release bicarbonate into the intestine to neutralize the acid food when it goes into the intestine, because your intestine works on alkaline. So all the enzymes in there work on alkaline, so your body releases bicarbonate to do that. But in order to neutralize the carbolic acid, it puts that bicarbonate into the stomach. So that's how it lowers the stomach acid. If you eat baking soda, it will lower your stomach acid. This is basically your body putting baking soda into the stomach to stop the carbolic acid.
Is that why they call it soda?
Never thought about that before.
Because back in the day, they called it pop, right?
Well, yeah, up in Canada and in the Midwest, we call it pop. Yep. It's a bit of a goofy name. I call it soda pop just to cover everyone.
Yeah, soda's no good, man. It's one of the worst things you can put in your body. Poor for food, for sure. So, all right, what else, Karen?
So if somebody is experiencing Hashimoto's symptoms, hypothyroid symptoms, has cold and heat intolerances, and they're losing their eyebrows, what can be done?
Heal it. That's what can be done. You heal it. Head to toe healing. You know, if you go look at our testimonies on drkevinreese.com, you'll see Hashimoto's, you'll see hair growing back, you'll see all that. You know, I know it's simple. I know sometimes I'm just too simple for you. That's why we have Ryan here, so he can give you some bells and whistles. Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, I mean, in the membership, the most recent module that I made in there was the thyroid rescue module. And just to explain the basics took me over an hour and a half. And it's cut up nicely. I don't have any pauses or anything in it. You know, it's tight, and yet it's an hour and a half. So, you know, the gist of it is, yeah, we need to do multiple things. I mean, there's multiple nutrient deficiency. We do head to toe healing, yes, but to explain the protocol, because it's one of those things, you can't just take this, this, and this. You have to understand what you're doing, because food plays a part and some habits play a part. And some thyroid cases are much easier than others, but the rescue series that we have in the membership is designed to handle the tough cases too. So if you're an easy case, then you'll probably get remarkable results on that. And yeah, we got the details in there for you. It's definitely not something you can just explain. Definitely not something you can say, yeah, just buy 200 milligrams of this and 400 milligrams of the. It's not a simple protocol. It's easy when you buy it in packages, you know, but you have to understand why you're doing these things, and you may have to change some food habits as well.
Yeah. Yeah, if anyone... Go ahead.
One thing I wanted to bring up is for those people that are watching on the socials right now, and you probably have individual concerns or questions, but maybe you don't want to put them on the social media comments or verbalize those. That's why we invite you to go to our website to book a call with one of our coaches so we can talk to you one-on-one to see what we have, how it might help you, and just talk through what's going on with your body. I mean, it could be that you've been on the earth for 3 decades, 4, 5, or 6 decades, and things have been increasing as far as symptoms for a really long time, and you're not really sure where to start, and the medical system is steering you down a route that might end up being one medication that causes side effects that cause more medications, and it's just a downward spiral. So if you have an opportunity, visit our website, drkevinreese.com, and look at the start page, and that'll answer a ton of questions, but then you'll have an opportunity to book a free call with one of our coaches, and that will that's just a roadmap to get you started in the process to see if we're the right fit for you, and there's no charge for it. So I just wanted to throw that out there. We've been talking about a lot of different things, but I think we forgot that.
Yeah. Call drreese.com works too. Goes to the same place. So,
Can we fit in one last question before going over to the members?
yes.
So Kristen on TT is asking, is there a correlation between alcoholism and balance issues as well as losing your voice?
There can be, but you know, from a head to toe healing approach, you know, I need to see your spine. I need to see your hips. I need to see your feet. I need to see your ears. You know, to make that claim or assumption that alcohol could be doing this or that is not right. From a head to toe healing perspective, we need to see the whole body. And that's why we do our head to toe analysis. That's why it's so important. Every member that we have has had one or should have had one. And,
Would you argue that alcoholism at root is still like a blood sugar issue?
Yeah, I mean, every alcoholic who drops alcohol, you know, starts getting high on sugar. Watch closely. Watch very closely. After alcohol comes the Red Bull and the soda pop and the cake and the cookies and the candy.
And technically, well, most alcohol would still be like liquid gluten in a way. So do you think that that also causes an effect in them? So it's like a double whammy, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, not all alcohol is gluten, but yeah, certainly beer, for sure. So yeah, that gluten's gonna block absorption at some point and ruin the guts, and then they need to come see us, get some head to toe healing.
It's actually a triple whammy because they're drinking concentrated sugar, which sugar itself is not the problem. But when the person's nutrient deficient, you don't have the nutrients to process that sugar. So that's whammy number one. Whammy number two is yes, it probably will be damaging the digestion system, especially if it is gluten, even if it's not gluten. And problem number three is that it depletes many nutrients on its own.
Boom.
It's a poison on its own. So you're talking about balance. Yeah, some of the most important nutrients, B vitamins and magnesium especially, but there's other nutrients as well. Alcohol drains a long list of nutrients and causes you to excrete more of them rapidly. Even the symptoms of a hangover is basically the same as magnesium deficiency, which is basically the same as low blood sugar, right? Hence why having another drink, this is the old wives' tale, right? Have another drink when you're hungover helps it. Why? Because it raises your blood sugar rapidly, right? Dehydration, low blood sugar, magnesium deficiency are all essentially the same, and they all, well, they're not the same, but they have the same symptoms, and they match up with those of a hangover.
Well
And
said.
ironically, alcohol is also a dehydrator, right? It's a diuretic. You have a beer, you urinate out more than a beer. It causes you to lose more water than you put in.
Yep.
So that would be the quadruple whammy causing dehydration.
Well said. All right. Well, thank you, Coach Karen and Coach Sean, for relaying those questions to us. And if anyone out there in the public wants to get involved with us and you've seen our testimonies and you know that we are the ones, you know that head to toe healing is what's going to get you to a state of living pain and drug free, then you go to drkevinreese.com, set up your call on the start page, start your process so you can be in the members room right now with all these people. All right, Tamra, let's talk to our members.
Hi, members. So I had posted a question for the day. I was asking members, what has been the most surprising thing you've experienced since beginning the head to toe healing? And we have a couple people who have responded.
Mm-hmm.
So, Felicia, in answer to your question, the most surprising thing I have experienced since beginning head to toe is how quickly my body can start to turn around if you give it the chance. I have been in the health and wellness environment for a while, and this has been the easiest transition. My score went down another 8 points in month 2. I love how it's all laid out and the fact that there are testimonials out there to help you trust the process. We all come in at different stages, but the community and the coach support is outstanding. No question is a dumb question. Today, I went down the stairs and up the stairs with strength in my legs and without wobbling like I'm going to fall down the stairs. I owe it all to the posture therapy. I can go on and on and on. Thank you for that.
Yeah, Felicia's making great progress.
Right? It's amazing. Colleen wants to know, well, there's more, but I'll go in the order. Colleen wants to know, can you help someone that has had a kidney transplant?
Yeah, why not? Why not? What do you think, Ryan?
Organ transplants are a little bit tricky. The only reason is because they're on immunosuppressive drugs for the rest of their life because they don't want the body to respond with an immune response to the transplanted organ, right? So I know people in the business who will avoid things that improve the immune system for that reason, right? They're under the same idea that we should keep the immune system under functioning so that it doesn't overreact to the transplanted organ. But we do have people who have had transplants who've been on the program for a long time, and their immune system should be improved by all the nutrients that they're taking and so on. But most of them do remain on the immunosuppressive drugs. And we can't tell anyone to stop taking a drug or not. It is a tricky situation because we don't have many double-blind situations to tell which is best. What about improving the immune system? There's no study where it took a bunch of people off immune suppressing drugs with transplants and gave them the 90 essential nutrients and saw what happened compared to, so we don't have that data. If it were me personally, I'm still not even sure what I would do. Maybe I would stay on the drug and take the 90 at the same time. It's definitely not a good idea to avoid anything that might help your immune system, right? Which seems to be the track that a lot of people do. It wouldn't be a good idea to, just eat whatever you want and drink Coca-Cola and never supplement and all that stuff. But it's a fine balance. But yeah, we can definitely help them, of course. I mean, the other parts of the program, the postural therapy and the mindfulness, everyone needs that regardless. That has nothing to do with your immunosuppressant drugs. But there is that tricky question of how much should we improve the immune system? I've always just made people aware of this when they ask about it, when they have a transplant, and let them make their own decision. And there's at least a handful of people who have been on the program for years that I know. I've dealt with them personally, and they're still alive.
Okay.
But if I could say one more thing, I don't know if this person is asking about themselves or asking about somebody else. Someone who's had a transplant done is deep in the medical monopoly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's very hard for them to break away from it, first of all. Second of all, their doctor is going to be scaring them this way and that way every time. I remember one of the last ones we had was a liver transplant case. It's the sister of a friend of mine. And, she had just gotten started on the program and her doctor scared her off of it. And she died like 3 months later. We weren't able to break the hold on the medical monopoly, and it took her life. And most people don't need the transplant in the first place, which is the most criminal part about it. You don't have a kidney problem, you have a circulation problem, you have a vascular problem. It's fixable. Liver especially is criminal. See that actress that just died this week, everyone's talking about? The Harriet the Spy girl, right? Liver transplant because of alcoholism. Her liver could have been fixed. The liver can regrow itself if you cut it out 90%, even more than 90%. The liver regrows itself. It's incredible. It's a miracle. But they gave her a transplant. She wasn't even 40 years old. They gave her a transplant, and boom, she's dead. Nothing to do with alcohol. Well, I'm sure alcohol didn't help the liver, but to say, oh, okay, it's alcoholism, we can't fix this, we can't save this, we got to do a transplant. Transplant more than likely is going to kill you.
Yeah, once they get their claws in you, man, they'll scare you into, because they don't want a lawsuit. It's it's all in the red book for anyone that's read it, the medical monopoly book. So, next question or comment.
I have a comment from Liz. She's saying that since she's been off the Pour Four foods for 8 months now, that her trigger nerve, which occurred every few months, has gone. What a relief, as the pain was worse than any pain I've ever experienced, as so close to the brain. Also, my ears have cleared at the same time. Thank God I forgot to mention this.
Where's Liz? Can we talk to her?
I believe she's here. Liz? Maybe she's not here. Liz,
Hello.
are you here?
Yeah, I am here.
Hello.
Hi again.
You
So
also
what-
had, you also, she
I
also
forgot
had a
all
comment
about. Fancy me forgetting all about that. That was the worst thing I've ever been through. That trig nerve thing, in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, it was horrendous. And honestly, I forgot all about it, and I was thinking about it today. And I thought, oh my God, it's gone, completely gone. There's no sensation there at all anymore. And it was associated with my teeth as well. That's all gone, all the sensitivity in my teeth. And also my ears, and my ears aren't blocked anymore at all.
But
And
didn't
I've forgotten all about it.
you have your eyes repaired? You told us about your eyes.
Yeah.
So that's all in the same area.
Yeah. And I've
So
not even started properly yet. I've I've watched a lot of the nutrition, and I've started doing the posture classes now as well.
Great.
Oh, and the foot thing as well. Yeah, because I work really hard, so I don't always have the time, but I'm trying to now.
and when you said black webs last week, you mean eye floaters, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they found those at the opticians, and they've got as well. I told them that when I went back about the eyes.
Did they officially diagnose you with anything in the eyes?
Yeah, the floaters
Okay. And they're gone.
gone.
Gone. And ears are unblocked.
Ears are unblocked. The ears used to block up an awful lot, and used to really itch as well. But that's finished with now.
And you said
No
the
problem.
trig nerve.
That was really bad. That is the worst pain I have ever had in my life. I used to feel like banging my head against the wall. It was so bad. It's gone.
Very cool.
Same with same with my teeth. It used to get into my teeth as well, but that was all sort of part. They told me it was part of the same thing, and they gave me gabapentin to get rid of it.
Well, I'm glad you're head to toe healing. You're doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it looks like you're trying to share the information with others. What happened with the parasite conversation you had with your friend?
Oh, well, that was the other night. That was terrible. She put the phone down on me in the end. She told me I was a big head. And I was condescending to go with it.
She didn't like your explanation of the stomach acid.
She's a vegan.
Oh.
I've not attacked her about that yet. She'll probably never speak to me ever again.
Oh.
But it's hard, isn't it? It's really, really hard trying to tell them.
Yeah. I was a 17-year vegan, and I wouldn't have listened until my health went.
Well, yeah, but she's so rude to me, this girl. She's meant to be my best friend. I don't think she's going to carry on like that. I need to give her the red book.
Yeah.
Give her the red book. That's what it's
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Thank you
All
for
right.
sharing.
Thank you, Liz.
It's a pleasure.
Now we have Tony asking, good evening. I'd like to hear your thoughts on extended fasting, 48 to 72 hour, and autophagy. I've seen several very interesting studies on the benefits of putting oneself into that. Thoughts? Autophagy?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you have 3 square meals a day, you're automatically fasting. So think about that. You know what I mean? Like if you stop eating at 6 p.m. and then you have breakfast at 9:30 a.m. the next morning, that's a nice fast, right? So I don't think the extended fasts are really needed. If you have to throw the kitchen sink at something, then maybe you do a 24-hour thing, but I don't think that is needed.
And Michelle has a comment that she got off the Poor for Foods for months now, and I ate something with oil yesterday.
Uh-oh.
I almost lost my hearing yesterday
Wow.
from the oil.
Yeah, it happens when you get off the Poor for Foods and then you divulge back, something's going to happen.
Log you up or something, yeah.
Yeah.
I was asking the members if anyone hasn't watched any of Coach Ryan's nutrition modules. And Colleen had commented that she has watched them more than once.
Wow.
Yeah, even I was surprised. We're at like 20 hours worth of modules. I think
lot.
even more than that now. But yeah, people are gobbling them up.
Yeah,
I put my soul into those, to be honest.
Members, if you have not watched any, we recommend you go. Brian spent so much time putting those together, and they're just full of information on gut, on minerals. You've got EMF. There's so many things in there. So please take advantage of that.
And there was never an appropriate place to put all that, by the way. You know, I got demonetized on YouTube quick. YouTube hates health information. And podcasts too. They took my podcast down. It was big, and they took it down, and it never regained. So it's like I'm not going to put. It takes me about 10 hours to make one of those modules, right? And there's 17 of them now. I'm not going to put 10 hours into something that's going to be blocked on social media. But for the members, I'm all in, and I'm very proud of that course. May I jump in on the 72-hour fasting quickly?
Yeah.
Fasting can have tremendous benefits. 72 hours is about your maximum benefit. The benefit starts to trail off after that. And 24 hours, you do get benefit, but 72 hours maxes it out. But the vast majority of the members, and probably lots of people who are watching this on socials as well, are already chronic dieters.
Mm-hmm.
They've already been dieting themselves to death. And like you say, Dr. Reese, detoxing themselves to death. They already have a compromised metabolism, many people. And most of our members, definitely. So I'm recommending that they stop intermittent fasting. Now, many of them, to get their metabolism back running again, we actually need more food for a lot of people. A lot of people have been undernourished in terms of calories and stuff. They need more food to get their metabolism kicking again. We're talking about thyroid. Well, most tough cases are thyroid cases involved in the thyroid, deep metabolic problems. Supplements alone don't fix that. That's why I said there's other things to that rescue course. You might need to change your food. And in this case, it might make you eat more food. I tell them to stop fasting. When they're working a bit better, fasting is great. Do some fasts here and there. I do some fasts here and there. There's absolutely documented benefits. But the studies that are done on fasting don't tend to be done on chronic dieters, right? They tend to be done on college students. People who have been chronic dieting and have already messed up their metabolism for years, fasting is not going to help you. In fact, the proof is that many of you people, I don't mean to say you people, many of you guys, many of these people have already been doing fasting. They've been intermittent fasting for years. They're doing long fasts to try and keep their weight down and stuff. The metabolism is already under functioning. And even with all that fasting, they've still plateaued. So obviously we have to do something different if we want a different result. And it's not just adding nutrients. Eating more food is key for a lot of people. Once they're working better, they can do some fasts, especially if they need to lose a lot of weight. Absolutely. But we have to prioritize metabolic function, basal metabolic rate first.
Makes sense.
You and me, Dr. Reese, we can fast right now for 3 days, no problem, right? It's not going to throw us into a metabolic tailspin because we're already healthy. But if you're stuck trying to get healthy for years and been doing every diet under the sun and taking every supplement, and you're still not getting there, you're probably undernourished on a caloric level, and that needs to change for now. And you might gain weight, and so what?
Yeah.
You'll lose it when you're working properly.
Right. Yeah, I've done my share of fasting back in the day. The lemonade diet. I did 7 days on tea one time. It was pretty bad.
How much did your body weight change when you got off of that?
I lost a ton of weight.
Wow.
I also lost a ton of nutrition.
I never lost weight, maybe 5 pounds. I would do 30 days myself.
Yeah.
That's another proof.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
When you're already in a metabolic crisis, your body's going to hoard everything it can.
Yep.
I've seen massively obese people, more than 400 pounds, who are on starvation diets and gaining weight.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Any other victories? Any other testimonies we got?
See here.
I have a few.
Oh,
What do we
good.
got? What do we got? Hi, Donna.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
It sounds like you guys are talking about me today, so I thought I'd chime in there. I have a lot of stuff going on. That's good. And so it's time to speak up, I guess. But one of them was the oxalate issue.
Uh-huh.
The first time I ever ran into you, Dr. Reese, was, I think it was on Instagram, and you put up a recipe, and it was chocolate. And I made a snarky remark about it being high in oxalates.
Yeah.
And so about two weeks later, you responded, thank you. and I felt terrible. I thought, I gotta go back and apologize to this guy. Well, I could never find you. So sorry about that. I'm not a snarky person, and then I changed my attitude a little bit there.
Okay.
And another thing, then after I started following you, and when I went to emails, I would find stuff I wanted later, and I would text or email myself. And I was always at the top. And then all of a sudden, when I started following you, you went to the top, and I sent a song to you about 3 months ago. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but it wasn't meant for you. But I got one I can send you that would be good for you.
Okay.
But anyway, I wanted to, with the oxalate issues, sometimes, I'm all game that it's a separate problem, that's for sure. It's definitely got better. One of my hugest things was the histamine attacks. It was just, my last one was terrible because I can't stop coughing. I can't stop blowing my nose. But that last time, I never had a sinus infection before, but my whole face was just so painful. And so those got to the point where it really scared me. And since I started taking care of the separate problem, whatever it is, the nutrition or whatever, they're minor issues now, very minor, and it's huge. And today I just feel like I'm definitely getting my life back. I've had so much energy today getting things done, where before it was just so forced to try to do anything.
Yeah.
So it's all good though, all good. And I just want to say one of the best things I think you do is pick your employees. You got such wonderful people here, and that includes Levi in the background. He was the first one.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. He was the first one that came to approach me, and I was just so afraid I was being scammed, afraid to sign up here and there, but it's all good, and I'm really happy to be here. So that's all.
All
For
right.
now.
So you're making progress.
Yes, I am.
Now, what couldn't you do before that you can do better now?
Oh, a lot. Yeah, my posture really had a major issue with that. And no matter how I feel when I go into posture, if I'm overly tired or crabby or achy somewhere, I always feel better at the end of the class. And I have a back injury that is right on my tailbone. And my husband doesn't even know this, but it got to the point where I couldn't stand at the sink to brush my teeth. I'd have to sit on the toilet so I could brush my teeth because I could not bend over at all. I used to be able to just stretch it out in the morning, but eventually I couldn't do that. And I don't have a problem with that at all now. And it's just, that's amazing.
You see how subtle that is? Like,
yeah, it goes so fast. I think that posture therapy sneaks up on you because you can pretty soon you figure out, oh my gosh, I can do this. One day I was doing my own thing. I usually do something every morning as well. And I went to get up. I had my music in one hand and iPhone or plugs in my other hand. I was halfway up and I thought, I'm too far away from that chair to help me up. And then I thought, just stand up. And I stood up. I thought, oh my God, I stood up without any hands or anything. So it's thrilling, yeah. And balance is so much better. And the ladies are just amazing.
yeah.
And so is Sean, of course. He's our model quite often.
Yeah. And so you had to sit down to brush your teeth, and now you can stand up, no problem.
Yes.
It's so subtle. Like, who would ever think of that, right? Being a victory, right? It's so subtle.
It's big to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And being able to get off the chair without really pushing yourself for momentum, right?
Yeah.
So you're improving, you're gaining strength and
yeah, very much so.
Yeah. Very cool.
And Donna,
Thank you
you
for
thought you
sharing.
could never eat oxalates again, right? You were on a very restricted diet.
Yes, yes. And I still try to be careful. One more month. If I can get through this month the same way now and without that issue, but I'm into my third year too, and so it's way better than it was 3 years ago. And the same with the histamine thing. It's going to be huge if I can get through this month and be done, and it's mild like this. It'd be just great. I did have a question. Can I ask a question a minute, Ryan? And Dr. Reese? With my blood work there, what's it? My glucose was 115, and then my A1C is 5.2. What should I be doing about the glucose at 115? Anything different?
That's fasting glucose, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great question for Ryan in nutrition class.
Yeah, we should discuss that on the nutrition class because your A1C is not, crazy high, but it is high. So yeah, that might be the next direction for you to go in. We definitely had to get you able to eat more food and get some of those pains away. But yeah, as we keep moving forward, we can keep adjusting and targeting those things and bringing them down. It honestly should come down since you're improving in general. The blood sugar should improve with it. We don't need to do too much targeting for that.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this membership and head to toe healing. It's like you work on one thing, you get better, then it's like it's time to pivot, and that's when you bring it up to either your nutrition coach or your posture alignment coach, and you get a little pivot, and then you work on the next thing, and you just keep going and going and going and going.
Felicia had made a comment. I find it interesting how some people have to remember that they had a certain pain, right? When they're, oh my gosh, I forgot I had that pain coming into it. I know I had the same issue.
Right.
Thing that has pain them so long just sneaks away and they forget about it. And I'm like, oh,
right.
That's right.
You had this, and then you don't have this, but you don't realize that you don't have this anymore. And then one day you're like, oh, I haven't had this in 10 days. What happened?
That's the best part.
Yeah.
When I got my result first, most people don't know I had childhood arthritis, and stiff man syndrome is what I would call it. If you asked my name and said, Ryan, I would have to turn this way to look at you. My whole body would have to turn, right? And I didn't even notice it when I got better. It was my buddy. I remember we were having coffee in the morning at the breakfast table, and he said, you just moved your neck all the way around, right? No problem. I just looked at him. That's all it was. I just looked at him without effort, like normal people do, but I didn't even realize that had just happened. And he said, yeah, you just turned your neck around, right? No problem. It was a game changer. I couldn't do that my whole life really properly without fearing that I'd pull a muscle or anything. So I developed this stiffness to prevent that from happening. And yeah, he noticed it right away, but I didn't.
Very cool. Yeah, it happens.
Latoya has a question. She's asking, is high fat, beef tallow, and low carbohydrates diet good for your health? Thanks.
I think it's a great way to go to start. But, I'm of the belief that, you do need carbs to keep things balanced out. And, I don't think you want to go over 300 grams a day. But 200 is like really a nice place to be. I make mashed potatoes in the pressure cooker, and then I take an ice cream scooper and I measure my potatoes so I'm not overdoing it. You can overdo potatoes real quick. But if you use a scooper, I know someone in the Zoom room is going to take it. But you get that ice cream scooper and you do it with the mashed potatoes. And now you know exactly what you're getting. It's 4 ounces. So
a lot of the members.
Three scoops is roughly 300 calories. Yeah.
A lot of the members, and I'm sure a lot of the people watching, have already completely quit carbs. They're terrified of carbs now. They have no sugar at all, no honey, no nothing. And a lot of times I ask, like, well, how's it going for you? Right? They're a mess. And so, getting rid of the bad foods is very important, right? The poor four, we're getting rid of certain carbs, right? The wheat, barley, rye, and oats, but a lot of people throw the baby out with the bathwater. and they're not having any potatoes or anything like that, and it doesn't help them. It throws their metabolism into even more of a crisis, and by the time they get to us again, they've got a thyroid problem, an adrenal problem, a whole hormonal problem. They can't lose weight, all this stuff, even though they're on 1,500 calories a day. So getting rid of carbs is not the answer.
No, you need a nice balance of your macros. That's why science balanced it out into those 3 macros.
Oh, and apologies, I missed a couple of questions above earlier. Someone was asking about raw milk versus regular milk. Thoughts on that?
I'll let Ryan take that one.
Sorry, you said raw milk versus
Regular milk.
Pasteurized, yeah.
Oh, pasteurized milk is junk to me. It's processed food.
Yeah.
It's fake food, right? The pour 4 is gluten, oils, fried, and fake. Processed dairy is fake. It's had all the good stuff killed in it, all the enzymes, all the good bacteria. Even if they add new bacteria back, still. There's an excellent book I would recommend about it. It's called The Raw Truth About Milk by William Campbell Douglas Jr. Might do a module on it sometime in the future in the course. But yeah, a lot of people swear by raw milk, and I believe them. A lot of people can't handle dairy at all, and I also believe them. Seen this plenty of times. We're supposed to develop an intolerance to it later in life. As Arnold Schwarzenegger said, milk is for babies. And it's true, we don't actually need milk. We don't actually need dairy. And particularly in America, the industry is so bad that the dairy is very, very, very low quality, despite what the commercials say. So if you're going to go for dairy, for me, it's raw all the way. I'll only buy the raw cheese. There's usually a couple of them available here in Texas. I can only get a couple types, but those are the ones that I'll buy. And the rest of it, if I'm going to use sour cream or something, I know it's junk food. I consider it junk food. It's not giving me a health benefit. I like the taste of it, right? That's the reason for using it. It's like a sauce. It's not a health thing. So the raw milk is a health thing, but we also don't require it at the same time. But pasteurization is junk, and yeah, we should be fighting against that, I think. And while we're on the subject, we might as well mention, same reason I don't buy juices or anything in the grocery store, because they're all pasteurized. Almost anything liquid is pasteurized, meaning it's been heated, meaning it's been denatured, enzymes have been killed, vitamins have been killed. Now it's just sugar water.
Yeah. Somebody's asking, does dairy cause inflammation?
Absolutely it can.
Yeah.
Some people, it's the source.
Yeah.
And there was another one that I missed about the NAD supplements. I'm not sure what those are.
Ryan?
NAD is a substance that you make in your body. It's made from niacin. It's in the name, niacinamide,
Right.
2 other words. So you need a few nutrients to make it. You need B3, which is niacin, B2, riboflavin, B6, pyridoxine, and tryptophan. So you need 4 nutrients to make it. And there's probably others as well, but involved, but directly you need those 4 nutrients. So I don't usually recommend it. It's got lots of studies, lots of benefits, sure, but if you take all 90 essential nutrients, your body can make NAD, it can make NAC, it can make glutathione, it can make CoQ10, a lot of these things that are being sold as supplements. And we might even use them from time to time. If the person is in critical condition, we could start using some of these things, sure. But for the average person, using the 90 essential nutrients, staying off the pour 4 so you can absorb those nutrients, your body should be able to make these substances in the body.
Yeah.
We have a brand new person. Hi, brand new person. Can't wait to forget I had these issues. Thanks for bringing hope that was feeling a lost cause.
They will get better. You just do what you got to do. Keep practicing is the best word. You practice head to toe healing. It's a practice.
Mm-hmm. And we got a lot of, we love Sean, Coach Sean, we love Ryan in the chat.
The team is great, right? The team is great.
Vicky is saying that my husband's chiropractor told him to get on some B complex.
Why are they selling it?
Probably. Yeah. And that's about it for our questions.
All right. Any other victories before we go? Anyone? Just want to make sure, just in case. Don't forget,
Oh, wait. No comments.
the last Tuesday of the month, we're going to go long and we're going to shut it off from the public and we're going to have a members meeting the last Tuesday of every month. So I just want to remind you of that. Somebody's going to have to remind me. You know, we're not used to it, right? So, but that's where we can discuss more ideas and discuss changes that we can make and ways to make this better. And, you know, we always want to make this better. And discuss the meet and greet. That's going to be June 7th. And working on a reunion retreat idea, which may be 26 because there's not enough time, but, you know. And, yeah, we'll just keep moving. And Felicia says, I love this program. Thank you, Felicia. Yeah. It's hard to believe it's been 9 months. And man, has it improved in 9 months. Thank you, Sue. Thank you. So that's it for this week. Thank you so much. For anyone at home, go to drkevinreese.com. Hop on the phone with the coaches and make that step so you can end up on the Zoom and get the help that you need, that head to toe healing.
Hey, can I ask one thing quick?
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody here on Facebook. It's Denise. She's saying, do I have to get off the poor four foods before I join? That's what I was told on my call, is what she said. And then she was saying, you know, why don't I get an answer? So I just wanted to jump in. Let's give her an answer. Does she have to?
Only if she wants to heal.
That's what I was thinking. It's just a bit weird to not make the commitment to getting off those bad foods, but to make a larger commitment that requires you to get off the foods to get the result, right? Because you are most likely not going to get a fantastic result if you keep eating. We don't know which one of those foods is she eating all of them? If you're eating all of them, I mean, yeah, why embark on the program if you're still going to do that to yourself?
Gluten, bottled oils, fried and fake. There it is.
Because if you came to the nutrition class and you said, Ryan, what do I supplement with? And you said, I still eat all the bad foods, I would have to pause and, you know, like, be like, why are you on the bad foods though? What's the deal?
What's the point of buying the supplements if you're blocking them, you know? You know, it's.
I like to use the analogy, imagine a house is on fire. Would it make sense for the construction crew to come in and start rebuilding the house while it's on fire? No. You have to clear the fire, inflammation, and then start to rebuild the house. Can't rebuild the house that's on fire.
Right.
Felicia in the chat says, yeah, why waste your money if you don't get off the bad foods? I wouldn't say it's a waste of money. I mean, the posture and the mindfulness and stuff can help. And honestly, I've seen lots of people get better without getting off the bad foods for certain things, right? We don't know what she has, right? But yeah, Felicia says Ryan hates wasting money. And yeah, that's 100% true. If you're under my guidance, I don't want to see anyone wasting money. And if you're eating bad foods, you're wasting money on the foods. And now you're wasting money on supplements because a lot of it is not going to be absorbed. Some of it will. It might even be enough to change your life. I've seen it. But still, why do that? Sean, that was an excellent analogy. Put the fire out. It's probably 90% of the fire in the body is being caused by the foods in the first place.
Yeah.
And once you put that fire out, obviously you've seen a burnt out house before. It's a mess. Now we have to rebuild it. You need nutrients to do that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Peace and love to you and your family. We'll see you on Tuesday, or you'll be on the PAT class tomorrow. So
Later, Dr. Kevin.
bye, Smith.
All right.